Hey everybody, welcome back to another Friday with Dannphan. You caught me on a caffeine detox day, so extra tired today, as you can imagine. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, where you're having a lot of coffee for like a week straight, and then you gotta wean yourself off of it. So yesterday I had some light tea. That wasn't as bad, it's like medium caffeine. And then today I just had something with no caffeine whatsoever. And oh boy, then it all starts then it starts affecting you. You get the headaches and you're just tired and lethargic and, it's rough. It's rough stuff, but it's better for your health anyways. And, then caffeine is more effective when you detox from it every now and then, because it's not constantly in your system. So, etc., etc. We already got a super chat before I even started stream. Keep fighting, Danny. It's worth it. Thank you, Carrie. Oh my gosh. So hopefully everyone's having a fairly decent week. I managed to get out one video anyways. There's a comic dub that I was supposed to get out on Burning Star, the Burning Star channel. I didn't end up doing that because Adam wanted to redo a line, and I just haven't really gotten into re-editing it again and then putting it out. But that's something to look forward to, hopefully, like next week. And there's a couple different manga that I might like to review. There's one in particular that I feel like I should review, because it's a manga series that most people would hear it and think, oh man, Dannphan would like that. But it's a horrific mess of a story. Even though it is exactly the type of manga that I would like, they dropped the ball on it so hard that I should cover it so that people know about this. I also want to do some more lists. At one point I did 5 anime for beginners, and I think that's a good list for people to have in general. I wanted to do another 5 good romance anime, because I keep on finding, whenever I'm looking to pick up another romance, right? Naturally, I'm turning to Google. I'm just going to type in romance anime and see what I find. And there's all these randos creating their own articles with their own romance anime lists. And oh my god, some of the anime that they put on those lists just make me shudder when I finally I think to myself, oh, maybe this will be cute. And then I watch it, and then it's just abuse. just straight up the most degenerate garbage. So I feel like, hey, I should at least put out a video there where I can give good recommendations for people like me who are not looking for that type of stuff, but find it anyway. It is unfortunate. Oh yeah, it's always a shame to have something that's right up your alley, but it's just shit quality. I don't even think it was the worst manga series I ever read or anything. It's just one of those things where they're I don't know, they're so non-committal towards just picking a genre and then sticking with it. It's brutal. But yeah, you got the Decaf Dannphan show. Sorry in advance. I'm gonna be a little bit slower, and I might end stream a little bit earlier. I don't know if we'll do a gaming stream tonight, because last weekend we were supposed to hang out with friends, right? Didn't work out. We got a snowstorm, and they lost their confidence in coming over. So instead, we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to have a little friend hangout. And so I think I'll have to probably get to sleep early to wake up early. You know how that goes. So possibly no game stream, or maybe we'll just do a quick game stream and then end it early. I don't know, man. But yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you would take the snow, Jamie. To be fair, it all melted the next day. It's like just for one day there was snow on the ground, and then it's all gone. It really wasn't worth freaking out over, but you know. Sometimes the news has like nothing interesting to report, so they're just like, oh my god, the weather! It's crazy! It's such crazy weather, you better be careful. You better keep on watching the news so that we can tell you what's going on with the weather. Play until Mario Kart crashes. Yeah, right. That would be a fairly short stream. We still have to finish the all cup, whatever. Not that we've never finished it before, but we stopped early last time, so we could do a stream where we attempt to finish that. I don't think I'd be a very good driver while I'm all decaffeinated. Driving, that's a big responsibility when you're playing Mario Kart Double Dash. All Adam has to do is punch. That's it. But yeah, what news broke out this week that I might have not covered last week? There was the Echo Marvel show. Yeah, so I remember seeing that fight scene leak on Twitter and just like shaking my head like, oh boy, there they go again. Just goodbye, money. Like, it's brutal. I wouldn't, obviously I would have never bothered actually watching the show. I don't have Disney Plus or anything, and I'm not really interested in any of the Marvel shows, but you know. I guess it's humorous. I should watch maybe like a review of it, because those are usually funnier than the actual shows themselves. More entertainment in the reviews of like angry fans, you know what I mean? Another Marvel bomb, yeah, looks like it. Rather have snow than rain, because the rainstorms that have been hitting my area left a mess for me. Yeah, we had a rainstorm a couple days ago. We actually got a leak, which is the worst to find out during a rainstorm. It was leaking like right next to the Nintendo Switch too. So luckily nothing got damaged. But yeah, it was a close call there. That was fortunate that we got that all patched up. Hello all, and Dannphan made it on time for a change. Morning here, I got some sleep, so I am with it this time. Well, that makes one of us. I'm exhausted. I am absolutely exhausted. But not because I got a fair amount of sleep, I think. I overslept. But that was because I had trouble sleeping. So who knows how much sleep I actually got. But no, it's because I'm decaffeinating from... And after like weeks of coffee, running on nothing but coffee, it's very difficult to cut yourself off. There's a new Ray movie, yeah. I've heard vague details about that. That one girl saying that she wants to make men uncomfortable, which ironically will make women uncomfortable too. It just makes everyone uncomfortable because you're being super cringe and hateful. So that's not gonna work out. We're supposed to get snow soon, but with how the weather's been, I don't see it sticking too much. Yeah. It was a pretty warm winter, all things considered. I always like it when we get snow during the Christmas season, though. That's the best time to get snow, because then you can really get into it, you know? You're like, fuck yeah, snow. I ain't driving nowhere. But, when it's just January, it's like, here comes the snow. And then it all melts the next day. It's like, well, that was pointless. Where are your signature hat? Good question. I think I probably left it over there somewhere. I need to dust it off. It could use a good cleaning. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put in laundry before I streamed. I completely forgot about it, though, as you can imagine. It's easy to forget things when your brain is running on 10%. So, do you guys have any series that you think I should be looking into? Either manga or anime? I occasionally look at like Chibi's channel to see if he's watching anything new and interesting. And it kind of seems like his latest video said something like, "This is the anime season of degeneracy." So, kinda doesn't really seem like I'll be picking up anything new from this current anime season, with how that sounds. I'm still watching Freerun. Well, that's a given. Yeah. I just mean, like, new stuff. Oh yeah, there's Delicious in Dungeon. It finally released over in the Americas. I'm looking forward to watching that. I was holding off on watching it until our friends came over tomorrow. Because I thought, maybe we could watch it together. If they're interested in it, of course. I think I recommended them the manga at one point. So, they should be somewhat familiar with it, right? Cells at Work manga. Looks cool, but haven't read it. Okay, well... there's a lot of things that look cool, for sure. How is the recent indie comic you just reviewed doing? Am unclear. Is it still funding, or are the issues just that now? Right, so the Indiegogo was done a while ago. I was actually reviewing it a little bit later than when I'd actually, like, received it. But, you know, just was a busy holiday season when I got it, so... that was my review of that a little bit later. Hokkaido gals are super adorable. Seems like it might be kinda cute after the first episode. Winky face? Is that a winky face like, haha, I'm joking, or... haven't looked into much anime lately. Okay. Torture Princess. It's a food anime? I don't know if I believe you. Enjoyed the first season of Cells at Work anime. Cute edutainment. Oh, second season of Yorosei Yatsura. Yes, I did see that. Although I kind of wanted to finish the original before I looked at the remake version. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the original is, like, better than when they remake it. Even with anime, yes, you know. I actually still like the original Fruits Basket to the remake Fruits Basket. They really went full on super soap opera drama with the remake version. And I know the original manga was also pretty soap opera-y after a while, but it just didn't feel the same. Like it really did feel like a genuinely different show, you know? While as the original Fruits Basket kind of felt more like wholesome, the remake kind of felt more like weird drama, family, incest, you know? You know what I mean, though. I kind of vaguely knew what to expect, but I was still kind of shocked at the same time. I was like, well, maybe they'll change some things to make it a... No. The only thing that they changed is the amount of drama that they put in there. Heyo, Dannphan, what is up? You know what I'm also watching at the moment? I'm watching the original Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm almost done it. I've got like 4 more episodes to watch, and then I'm done. Just started getting to the parts where they're like explaining new types, and I must say it's a little bit abrupt to kind of just throw that into the Gundam series, but I'm like, alright, whatever. I'll take psychics. We're fighting in giant mechs. Sure, I guess they can be psychic too. And I started this new series, only on like episode 5 of it so far, but I've been enjoying it. It's called Lost Universe, and it's pretty episodic, right? It's not that serious. It's more like laid back comedy. It's like this space crew that kind of just goes doing odd jobs around the universe. It's pretty chill. Obviously, like, a little bit inspired by Star Wars, but like what they do with their inspiration of Star Wars, they use it in like clever ways that aren't completely derivative. Like they have what looks like an obvious lightsaber, right? But then they tried to do a spin on it where it's a psi blade. So it's not really a saber made of light or anything, but rather instead it's like a mechanic that uses your psychic energy to create a blade, and then like however strong your psychic will is how strong the blade is. And that's kind of interesting in the way that it's like not anyone can just pick it up and use it, you know? A normal person will pick it up and they won't know how to put their psychic energy into it or something. So it's like an interesting little twist on what was obviously inspired by Star Wars, but then like took it a different direction. Thanks for the super chat, Mark. 1980s anime Robotech. I must rediscover. Classic for the day. Robotech. I do feel like I've heard of that. Not 100% sure, but I'm all up for new recommendations. I know our one friend, he has seen so much anime that I've never even heard of in my life. Like, he really digs deep to find these super old, like, 80s and 90s anime. And some of them are, like, really good. And, some of them are a little bit strange, but still somewhat entertaining, you know? Even the strange ones can be kind of entertaining at times. Lost Universe equals Slayers in Space. Is that another one? Or... I think I recall seeing Lost Universe whenever I was digging for obscure anime. It's a little bit obscure. The way that I found it was like basically by accident. I think I was just like browsing through one of Crunchyroll's sales, and they had the DVD for like the dubbed anime for sale on there or something. I saw it for sale somewhere, and then I took a screenshot of it because I was like, this looks like something I would like to binge in the future. And then sure enough, you know, I started watching it, and I thought it was decent. Although I will say, the dub. The dub is like you know? It's not the worst dub I've ever heard. However, there's a hologram character. I assume she's supposed to be some sort of AI, whatever, right? Whoever told her how to do the voice, how can I describe it to you? It sounds like a voice someone would make when they're making fun of a less intelligent individual. It's a really stupid voice, and she... Ah, man, it gets so annoying to listen to every now and then. In general, all of the voice actors are just yelling all the time during the dub, even when it doesn't make any sense for them to be yelling. Like, she covers up the one guy's mouth and she's like, "Be quiet! They might hear us!" It's like, I don't think that... I don't think that the voice acting should be so loud in that scene. Call me crazy, but I think there might have been some misdirecting being done here. Speaking of space anime, have you watched Red Astra Lost in Space? It's really wholesome. I have been reading... Actually, no. I read the manga, not all of it, but I read like 25 chapters into the manga and then dropped it. Just because it got a little bit stale. But I have not seen it, if there is an anime. I haven't caught the anime anywhere. It might be like easier to get through the anime though. Yeah, no indoor voices, that's for sure. We talking voice acting. I think Garze's wing takes the cake. No. If I am to tell you the worst voice acting that I have ever heard, oh man. How can I even find a clip of this? God damn it. I'm never gonna find a clip of this fucker voice acting, because there aren't that many clips of Summertime Rendering online. Let me just pull up the character. Come on. What's the brother's name? I completely forget. Yes, that guy. Ryunosuke, this motherfucker. Oh, God. Okay, hey, hang on. Let me share my screen. You can partially understand what I'm complaining about. This motherfucker right here. This guy has the worst voice in the English dub I have ever heard in any English dub ever. It's worse than Slime Boy. It's worse. It's worse. And that's so weird. So weird to say, right? Because not all of the... I would actually argue that, like, the dub for Summertime Rendering was not bad at all. I liked a lot of the voice actors that they got for that anime. Except for this guy. This guy was so bad, it was baffling. It didn't make any sense why this voice was so bad. It's awful. Is there a better picture of him I can zoom in on while I'm yelling? No, it's just this. This fucker guy. This fucking guy. He doesn't even talk that much in the show. Thank God, right? But my God, as soon as he's on the screen, it pulls the whole anime down. Because all you can hear is like this actress, and I'm sure it's a girl, but just like completely brutally destroy this character by having one of the worst dub voices ever. Yeah. If I could find a clip of this guy, Ryunosuke dub? I don't think anyone has ever actually bothered clipping it out. And honestly, because the dub is done by Disney, right? Right? I think it was a Disney anime, as fucking weird as that sounds. So I don't think that they're actually able to get many clips online without getting super copyright struck. Yeah, I don't see anything with this fucking guy. But it really is the worst dub voice ever. I don't think I'll ever find another voice actor as bad as the person voicing that character ever again. But if you ever watch Summertime Rendering, which I recommend, it's a very good series. Just be aware that once you reach that character, once you see that character and hear him talk, you'll know exactly what I mean, for sure. But yeah. Manga doesn't have dubbing, fortunately. Yeah, that's true. The anime was fine. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It was a fine anime. But it's just that one voice. Just that one voice pulled it down so badly. But yeah. Anyway. I don't know if that person who did that voice was just like an intern, like the actual voice actor that they got just never showed up at work, and then they just like pulled some random person in the office and like, you gotta read these fucking lines, man. Our deadline is in like 5 minutes. We just need something. Yeah, wow, must be a bad voice actor. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You have to hear it to believe it. I have to show our friends that, because I actually gave the entire manga series of Summertime Rendering to one of my friends that I'm going to see tomorrow. And she loved it. She did. But she never saw the anime. So I feel like I have to show her what that voice actor sounds like. It's so terrible. It's a sight to behold, and I feel like we can all appreciate how terrible it is. Do you hate Mineta from My Hero Academia? Everyone hates him, and I kind of like him. Yeah, well, hate is a strong word. I kind of generally dislike him. Just because he's wildly uninteresting, you know? There's just kind of nothing going on there. But then again, I could say the same of fucking Deku. I'm not a big fan of the main character either, so who cares what my opinion is? There's always a next level of bad. Have faith. No, man. It's pretty difficult to get worse than that, though. It was pretty bad. The sub voice actor for Revi sounded really weird to me. I definitely prefer the dub actress. Oh yeah, from Black Lagoon. It's been a while since I watched that. That was an Adult Swim one, right? Yep. I had difficulty latching onto the characters. Same typical reason. It's just like I couldn't really find much reason to root for them. How about Pinocchio's scene in bar reference to Pleasure Island, Epstein creepy? I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but are you referring to like the Disney remake of Pinocchio? Because I can tell you, I ain't watching that. I remember I got whiplash when watching Shaman King, and the main character was voiced by a chick in the original. Turns out it's pretty standard in shonen. Yeah, like Luffy is voiced by a fairly elderly lady in the original. And like, sometimes it's fine, sometimes it works. I generally don't like the raspy voice sound that a lot of girl voice actresses try to do when they're voicing a guy. Something about it just like hurts my throat to listen to it, you know? But I mean, there are also some like girl voice actresses that are just generally really good at like sounding like young boys, just because they're talented, right? Like, it took me forever to realize that the voice actress for Jimmy Neutron was a woman. Even though it's like kind of a little bit more obvious now that I've seen her do the voice, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I see what she's really doing with her voice. But like when I was watching Jimmy Neutron, it didn't even occur to me. It just, to me, sounded like a young boy voice. Now it makes a little bit more sense, though. Deku is the hair eater. Yes, this is true. You did eat that hair. I think in Naruto worked pretty well. Most young boy characters are voiced by women. Yeah, part of the reason why they do that is because, especially with a series that they don't know how long it's going to go on for, they're worried if they actually get a young child to voice the boy, eventually he'll go through puberty, and then the voice won't sound the same, and then for some reason that's a bad thing. I guess. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if, like, you do a puberty episode where, like, the actual character is going through puberty. I don't care. Fuck it. But whatever. Apparently this what happened in Steven Universe, too. Like, they hired an actual young boy to voice Steven, and then eventually he went through, like, puberty. So they started pitching his voice up for, like, a couple of the seasons. That's what I heard, anyway. I don't know if that's actually true, but that is what I heard. You can kind of hear it in, like, some of the episodes. It sounds like the actor's trying to make his voice sound higher. So I'd be willing to believe that it was true. Thanks for the $5, Captain Hyrule. What does your ideal video game of Reaper look like, play like, if you could ever make it happen? I mean, obviously, I have to say it would be a Souls-like, because Reaper was kinda heavily inspired by dark fantasies such as Dark Souls, and they are literally reaping souls, so it would have to be a Souls-like, naturally. But, yeah. Oh, Reaper video game would be quite fun. In general, more Souls-likes would be quite fun. I enjoy them. Not everybody enjoys the Souls-like genre, but I do. It's a soft spot in me. I like certain types of, well, I don't really like the platforming part of platformers, as goofy as that sounds, but I like kind of the feel of, like, the two-dimensional look around, or maybe you would describe them as more like Metroidvania types, where, like Ender Lilies or Hollow Knight, those types of games. I like those too. So it's like Souls-like, and then those types of 2D explorer, fight, bad guy games. Those are good. And of course I like RPG games too. Although, you know what I'm not a fan of? I'm not a fan of turn-based combat. Just not a fan. Just never really was. Not even when Pokemon was a big thing. I wasn't even a big fan of turn-based combat. Just never quite latched onto me. Maybe if I was playing with friends, it would be a little bit easier to get into turn-based. But, when it's just by myself, it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to get into it. When you drew that new big sword a couple weeks ago, Dannphan, the look on your face said proud all over, made me smile. I still have the big sword. It's just on the ground. I'm still trying to find a good place to put it or display it. But, there's not a whole lot of room up here. It was another video that I thought about making. I was, like, preparing to make. Was a video where, like, I go over, or you know how they do, like, those my comic creator studio type videos. I was thinking about doing one of those. But, you know, the joke with that video is the fact that it looks pathetic. So it would be kind of like that one PewDiePie video where he's like, check out my new car, and then it's just like a piece of shit car, even though he's like rich. It'd be like one of those. Only I'm not rich, so. I've been watching Ultraman Blazar. I'm enjoying it for the most part. And that's the first I've heard that one. That's interesting. I'll have to check that out. It took 3 days for my poor husband to beat Orphan of Kos in Bloodborne. Oh man, I really want to play Bloodborne, you know? But I can't because it's a PlayStation exclusive. It's not on Steam. Harumph. But eventually, you know, in theory, eventually it'll get on Steam later. And then I can play it, maybe. Or I guess I could try to find an emulated version of it. Although it probably won't play as well. Whoop. Let's see. I'd display my Norman sword on the wall if I didn't have cheap walls. Well, as you can see, these walls are from the 80s, so I don't think that they would be very good for displaying swords either. Have you seen Godzilla -1? No. No, I haven't. But we should. We definitely should. It's just a matter of, like, trying to get out of the house. Trying to find an excuse to see something. Although it's probably not in theaters anymore, right? Because people have been, like, telling us to go see it for so long, and we just never got around to it. Ugh. Assuming Sony's going to allow it on Steam, hopefully fucking better. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to emulate it. I'm not buying a whole goddamn PlayStation to play Bloodborne. There's basically nothing else I would want to play on PlayStation besides that. I heard Lies of P is the next big thing, is the next best thing to Bloodborne. I think it's available everywhere. Yeah. I considered playing Lies of P. I just felt kind of weird about the story. I know that maybe that sounds shallow, but I mean, it looks cool. It looks visually cool, although Pinocchio looks like a twink. We all know it. We all know it. We might as well just say it. Pinocchio looks like a twink. But yeah, they're trying to do some weird thing where they're like, oh, lying is actually a good thing. Lying makes you more human. Lying good. And if you don't go along with what the game is trying to say, then you just lose the game. Like some weird stuff like that. And I don't know. It also seemed like some of the side quests were kind of depressing. And I don't know if I'm really ready for all that in my Pinocchio-based Souls-like game. But I like some of the stuff about it. I'm just not super excited to jump into it just yet. I feel like I need some more mental prep. Godzilla -1 is coming out again, but in black and white. Oh, that's interesting. It gives you a more classic experience. Ah, I see. You know what I did get? I got Remnant 2. Eh? I wanted to play it with Adam because I saw other people playing it and it looked like a ton of fun. And it's, you know, I have to play more games with Adam because it's so fun playing games with him. And most of the time we're just like kind of doing our own things apart from each other. So I'm gonna make him play Remnant 2 with me. We'll make it work. That's kind of a Souls-like, but like with guns. Yeah. So I'm excited for that anyways. you'll have to check that out on the Game Fan stream, because I don't post my game stuff here. A kind of good Souls-like game is Jedi Fallen Order. Good for news and fun. Oh yeah, I think I do remember hearing about that game. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear it was Souls-like, but I guess you're saying it very similar, right? Have you ever played Warhammer Vermintide? Oh yeah. Yeah, I played Warhammer Vermintide with Adam. Gotta say, wasn't worth the price. And holy shit, that game is so big. Why is it so giant? It takes up like my whole computer. It's like, wow, it's a great game if you don't want to play any other games. No, I mean, it's fine. It's just, I didn't really have much fun playing it in the long run. It got a little bit repetitive after a while. And if your friends don't want to play with you, it's one of those things where it's just like, well, then I won't play it. It's so much better to play with friends. Have you ever played Code Vein? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I beat Code Vein, and that was very fun. As much as people shit on Code Vein for just being like a shitty anime Dark Souls knockoff, it's not that bad. Actually, Code Vein was the first real Souls-like I played. So granted, I didn't have anything to really compare it to, because I hadn't played the other ones. But I like how the combat felt in Code Vein. And I generally just like exploring in video games. I like wandering around and like finding secrets and shit. So experiencing that for the first time, I remember like staying up goddamn all night going through that castle section in Code Vein. But I wasn't like staying up out of frustration or anything. I was just genuinely having fun. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I also kind of like this. I know this sounds stupid. I kind of liked the story in Code Vein. Even though it was very basic, I enjoyed it. My only regret is that they didn't work in any, like, dating simulator in Code Vein. No, can't flirt with anybody in your hub world. Shameful. I can't even set two people up. I think most games should have some sort of dating mechanic just weaved in there. But then again, I'm a girl who likes her romance. So that's kind of just where my brain goes, you know? Which reminds me, of course, to remind you that we have a romance coming up February 14th. Have you heard about this? I hope you have. Coming to Burning Star Comics, we've got the very first comic being released this year, The Way Long Back. And we're gonna be actually posting both issue 1 and 2 on Valentine's Day. Let me just pop open the screen. There we go. Get your 90s vibes on. Because this one is going to be nice for all the romance lovers who are looking for some romantic things to enjoy on Valentine's Day. And then the funny part is, you know, we get the like cutesy pootsy romance drama February 14th, right? And then like after we get Reaper. It's a little bit of a shift in tone when it comes to the releases, but it's in a way it's a good thing, right? Because you're getting some variety, you know? Hey, Renee and Ray, how you guys doing? Yeah, you saw the tweet about the romance. I'm excited to be getting some other comics up on the sites, especially other romances. I have a big soft spot for romance, but I find that a lot of people aren't really doing romance, you know? And the people who are doing romance, they just like kind of skip straight over to porn very fast. Or they do like porn or fan fiction. But like, how about you make your own romantic story, you know? How about you start from scratch and don't overcommit too much? That's something. That's an option. I think it's one of the genres that doesn't, ironically, does not get any love, but it should get love. Yeah, looking forward to the new batch of comics this year. Me too. You mentioned Reaper is your passion project at the moment. Do you know how long you were preparing it before drawing it? Any script beforehand? Well, it's funny because it must have been like, at this point, maybe 2 years ago. Man, years go by in like blurs. Can't even believe that I've been alive for this many years. But it was like 2 or 3 years ago I first started like putting together all the concepts for Reaper, and I put out like my first drafts. And my very first drafts of Reaper were so like kind of crappy looking, but I would give them to friends and get some feedback and then rework it and polish it up until it was ready for even more feedback, etc., etc. Now my art styles has kind of gotten much better, so now I'm able to do basically the final version, and I'll still be editing the final version, of course. You know, you get your draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, and then you get your final 1, final 2, final. But yeah, as I'm going through like the old drafts and like fixing up the art and mostly fixing up the fight scenes to make them much better. And I'm practically redrawing everything because of how much my art style has changed over those years. But yeah, I've been planning for Reaper since like way before Horizon Quest. I put Reaper to the side because I wanted to practice essentially doing a fantasy comic with doing Horizon Quest, which is much more lighthearted, of course. But it kind of gave me the confidence to be working on something much bigger, like the Reaper series is going to be. Because it's not just going to be one book, it's hopefully going to be many books that'll connect to each other and tell an ongoing story. And hopefully it'll be good. For those of you who are subscribed on the Subscribe Star, otherwise known as the fan club, you've been seeing pages as I've been working on them. I'll have more pages up this month for the early readers to read. I post about like 10 to 20 pages every month on the Subscribe Star for the first readers. Yeah, the only Dannphans. And then for everybody else, you can back the campaign March 1st. Oh, I gotta put together the campaign page and everything. We might have the 3D printer finally fixed soon. I helped Adam get out this one wire that's like kind of tightly in there. He couldn't get it because you have to like really have tiny tweezer fingers to pull it out. But I got it out, so now he can fix the printer. I'm explaining this, but none of you care. I know you don't care about like the itty bitty details. The important part is now he can fix the 3D printer, and maybe we can get some cool goodies for the campaign. I already kind of shared what I was planning to have for the poster art for the campaign, although you probably forgot it at this point. So when I repost the poster art for the campaign, you'll be like, whoa, that looks really cool. Totally never saw this before. And hopefully it'll have the same effect. That's the idea anyways. I'll have to like make some space for a new poster to put behind me. But yeah, mark it on your calendars, folks. That's you're goddamn right, Gabe. Mark that on your calendars. Give us the details. What was broken? How did he fix it? What tools did he use? Oh yeah. The details I know themselves are vague, but yeah, it was having some problem overheating, so the safety feature was shutting it off before it finished printing. But we're hoping to print like some sword bookmarks for the Reaper campaign to make it actually look like the cursed sword from the comic, so that it's nice and special, you know? And I was thinking that could be a campaign exclusive. It's something small, but something cool, you know? Something neat. That would be a neat little additional, a little thank you for backing the campaign first, and instead of just like waiting. Since you release digital comics, aren't you worried about piracy? No. I mean, first of all, I'm not that big. In general, piracy is not that big of an issue, and I'm also not someone that I don't have comics that that huge quantities of people are actively looking for to pirate. So there's no really demand to pirate my stuff, and even more so, like the people who are buying my stuff are fans who wouldn't post my stuff for a piracy site in the first place, you know. So there's all these reasons for me to not really worry about it. And in general, there's other places where they let you buy digital versions of comics, and sometimes they'll have some anti-piracy software on it, and sometimes that just kind of ruins the experience reading it, because sometimes it's a little bit itchy glitchy, you know. But that's a whole thing. It's maybe something to worry about in the future, but I would also hope in the future that I would have more print stuff. So, it's okay. Yeah, right now for smart time creators, piracy is free publicity. I wouldn't encourage piracy of my stuff, but I don't think it's something that I need to worry about right now. It's not like, of all the list of my concerns, that is so far down on the list, you know? It's like the whole worrisome creator who's like, I can't let anyone know what my story idea is, because if they know, they might steal my idea and like make a bunch of money off of it. And it's like, well, I don't really think many people really care about stealing people's ideas, you know? It's kind of like that feeling with my stuff too. I don't think people really care to pirate it. But yeah. Check out the last chapter of Kindergarten Wars. See how much the author hates his translators. Huh, I wonder what you mean by that. Did the author say something? Huh. Did Kindergarten Wars update recently? Did I miss the last chapter? Because I feel like I read the latest chapter not too long ago, but I don't remember there being anything about translation. I don't know. Oh, sorry, we're already like almost at the end of the stream, and I'm already like falling asleep. So I think we'll call it here, guys. But yeah, just remember that the Way Long Back, issue 1 and 2, so you can read both at the same time without having to wait too long, because I'm just that nice, right? Issue 1 and 2 of The Way Long Back are going to come out February 14th. You can download them and enjoy them to your heart's content. And then soon we'll have Reaper. But for now, I guess just enjoy kind of the romantic holiday feeling. Because Valentine's Day is a-comin'. And finally, we'll have more strictly like romance stuff on the site. There's a lot of other comics I have on the site with romance in it, but it's not really strictly focused on the romance. And The Way Long Back is more so actually focused on the romance. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching yet another Friday with Dannphan. Hopefully I'll see you another Friday ahead. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you next time.